Stan Swamy argued that in his petition that the way the provision has been drafted, it is virtually impossible to get bail. And if a statute is denying an individual bail, then it is violative of fundamental right to life and liberty.
Just 2 days before his death, human rights activist Stan Swamy had moved the Bombay High Court challenging Section 43D of the Unlawful Activities Prevention Act.
We keep hearing this adage that bail is the rule and jail is the exception in criminal cases. The UAPA shifts this entirely, and the way the section has been drafted, Section 43D of the UAPA, which talks about getting bail, the language essentially says that a court can deny bail every time they see a prima facie case that has been made against the accused. So the language itself is about denying bail rather than granting bail. So in UAPA, this is something that even courts have acknowledged, that bail is an exception and jail is the norm. Not just this, the UAPA grants a lot of leeway to the state in terms of how investigation has to be conducted, and these lean heavily in favor of the state rather than protecting the rights of the accused. For example, custody can be sought for up to 180 days during the investigation and trial. In ordinary criminal law, this is not the case. For example, if someone's been, arrested for murder, the magistrate would grant custody, but it would only be for very specific short amount of time, say sometimes for 3 days or 7 days. But in UAPA, this period of incarceration increases vastly. There is no bail, under trial, the accused can remain in jail for many years, and this custody period also increases. At one go, the NIA can see custody for weeks at a stretch. If the court finds that there is a prima facie case, the court can deny bail. There are no exceptions to this. But the question was about how do you define what is a prima facie case? How should the courts look into enough evidence whether there is a case or not? The high courts, especially the Delhi High Court, has leaned in favor of examining the evidence, making a careful construction of the state's case to see whether there is a prima facie case or not. This was the view that the Delhi High Court had taken in the case of Zahoor Ahmad Watali. This is a judgment by Justice Muralidhar, where they grant bail and say that the state has not made a prima facie case. But when the case went in appeal before the Supreme Court sort of narrowed down what the courts can and can't do in deciding a bail application under UAPA. And there are some 2 or 3 observations that the Supreme Court makes in that case, which has again become virtually impossible for trial court judges to apply this and grant bail in UAPA. One, the Supreme Court has said that the courts should not look into whether a particular evidence is admissible or inadmissible while deciding on a bail application. So, for example, in Stan Swamy's case, the NIA produced what it calls evidence, which are largely some undocumented, handwritten letters, undated letters. So the Supreme Court ruling that came in 2019 makes it very difficult for bail to be granted. Yet there have been at least 2 or 3 instances where the Supreme Court ruling has been in a way circumvented for granting bail. For example, in this year, a bench led by Chief Justice N.V. Ramana in the case of Najib. So this is a case coming from Kerala where the accused has been in jail for about 4 years under UAPA, and the trial had not begun. So when he applied for bail, the Kerala High Court, the trial court had granted bail, the Kerala High Court did not. And then the Supreme Court stepped in and said, it upheld the grant of bail and said that right to speedy trial is a fundamental right. Whether it is the UAPA landscape or the landscape of ordinary criminal law, this fundamental right to a speedy trial does not go away. And the court says in such cases where the accused has spent a considerable amount of time in jail, bail can be granted. So in a way, a cynical way to look at this reading is that you would have to spend a considerable amount of time in jail for you to be considered for grant of bail. The recent case, of course, is the case of the 3 student activists who were arrested in the Delhi riots case under UAPA. The Delhi High Court says, okay, we will not go into the merits of the evidence, but we will test whether the accusations against the accused can even be terror charges. If they are not terror charges, then they can't be booked under UAPA. So the court looks at not evidence against the accused, but the accusations itself, the alleged incident itself that the state argues, just that, and says these do not qualify to be terror charges, so these cannot be booked under UAPA. If a prima facie case under UAPA cannot be made out, then they can be granted bail. So but of course the Supreme Court has said that the Delhi High Court ruling is problematic, and it has stayed the High Court ruling pretty much. It said that it can't be used as a precedent, even though the 3 students are still out on bail. Stan Swamy argued in his petition that the way the provision has been drafted, it is virtually impossible to get bail. And if a statute is denying an individual bail, then it is violative of fundamental right to life and liberty. So this was a principal argument that Stan Swamy had made in this plea that was filed just 2 days before he died. Of course, the case, the particular hearing might not happen, the case might not sustain, but the conversation or the challenge to this provision of granting bail under UAPA is now will have to be discussed in courts again.